Salutations everyone! Based on where you're watching this, you can tell that today's video is going to be about out of the ordinary Christmas traditions from around the world. Whether it be dark, eerie, spooky, or just strange. These are traditions that I looked up and looked into that are celebrated in various parts of the world, including traditions that apparently happen in the United States that I was not previously aware of. But obviously, there are many things that I don't know about, and hopefully, we can go through this adventure together, learning new and interesting things. Okay, so this video, as you could already tell if you haven't figured out by now, is just going to be a voiceover, sort of like a countdown type scenario. So feel free to put this on in the background while you're doing other things. I'm not going to number them, but I will have pictures and little tidbits that go along with each fact. So, if you want to float back to the tab occasionally, I would appreciate it, because I spent all of 30 minutes researching this. No, I'm kidding. But it was some work, and I just hope you guys enjoy it. Okay, so the first fact is that in Estonia, it's tradition for the whole family to take a Christmas Eve sauna together before going to church. This definitely falls more into the strange category rather than dark, but I guess it's just strange based on my American ideals. I'm not much of a sauna person or like a public bathroom person, so obviously I would think this was a little bit strange. Okay, another tradition is one that is apparently common in America, although, again, I have never heard of this personally. Some families hide a pickle in their Christmas tree, and whoever finds it gets a special gift. I don't know if this is supposed to be a real pickle or if it can be a fake one. I'm pretty sure like having a rotting pickle in your tree is probably not a good look, so let's go with fake. I do know there's like I was watching Amazing Phil, and there was like he had a yodeling pickle, so I wonder if you're supposed to put the yodeling pickle in your Christmas tree. That would explain why it exists, kind of, sort of, maybe, not really. Another winter holiday tradition is one that is celebrated in Guatemala. This is not Christmas, but it's December, so it's going on the list. Every December 7th, Guatemalans take part in La Quema del Diablo, or Burning of the Devil. I don't know if I said that Q word correctly. My Spanish is not the greatest. So they basically take a flaming effigy of the devil. Well, it's not flaming, it's an effigy of the devil, and then they light it on fire, and that makes it flaming, as a way to cleanse their home of evil. I'm pretty sure that burning an effigy of the devil would just, like, make the devil salty and just come for you. That seems like the kind of petty actions the devil would take, but obviously this is not. People would have stopped this if this was like having bad juju on them, but who knows. Another fact that is more of a superstition than a tradition that is believed in Europe apparently is that if you were born on Christmas Day, you're more likely to be a werewolf. I heard something akin to this the other day. I can't quite remember what it said. Something to the effect that if you were born during Christmas time, you were a werewolf. And then or there was a lot of werewolves that were the spirits of men who were murderous when they were alive, and then they died and came back as a werewolf. And then if you kill them again, they come back as a vampire. I don't know what happens if you kill them the third time. I don't know if they just stay dead after that, but hopefully, because that sounds miserable and awful. Who's giving them all this power when they were a jerk in life? Another tradition is the celebration of Mary Lord, It's LWYD. I'll put it on the screen. Or Holy Mary, which is originated in South Wales and is still celebrated in the region of Glamorgan. It is basically where you take the skull of a dead horse and then you decorate it, and then you cover yourself in a white sheet and you kind of hold it around on a stick on top of the sheet, or like, I'll put a picture. It's kind of hard to explain. And then you go from house to house singing, well, not necessarily Christmas carols, but sort of like just singing. And there was something that I read I'm going to link all these articles in the description, the other day, where it was like, kind of like you you have a quote unquote a rap battle with this horse head figure, and if you lose said rap battle, I think you have to give them treats. It's sort of like some weird Christmas rap battle horse skull trick or treat situation. I don't know. But it sounds interesting. It's just kind of creepy because it's the fact that you're parading around with a skull decorated, notwithstanding. I don't know. But it sounds like it could be fun, I guess. That seems kind of, I don't know, weird to do with a skull of anything or anybody. But then, I don't know. Another tradition in that vein is celebrated in Portugal. In Christmas morning, they have a feast called the Comsada. It's much like a regular Christmas meal, but they also set out plates for alminhas, a pinar, or the souls of the dead. So this just kind of makes me think kind of like Day of the Dead, because they bring food for their ancestors for that holiday too. I'm not saying people from Portugal, I mean like the people that celebrate Day of the Dead. Do they celebrate Day of the Dead in Portugal? I know it's like a Mexican thing, and then is it all Spanish speaking? I'll look it up. I'll put the information on the screen, obviously, because now that I'm thinking about it, I don't actually know. This next thing is more of a fun little fact. The story Hansel and Gretel by the Brothers Grimm was published around the time that gingerbread houses started becoming a popular thing. So just next time you decorate a gingerbread house and then eat it, just think that you might be eating a witch's house and they might come and try to boil you in a pot. I mean, maybe don't think about that because it's not actually really pleasant, but now you're probably going to. You're welcome. I have another one for you about fire. In Gavle, Sweden, don't know if I said that correctly, they erect a giant straw goat, and they were concerned about it being really flammable because it's a giant straw goat. And so now part of the tradition is burning said goat. So I don't really know what I don't know what this is trying to achieve. They just wanted to create a fun new tradition. So they built the goat and then they're like, "Oh, we could also burn it." That's basically what happened. So this originated in 1966. And so the goat doesn't always burn. But 35 of the last 50 years, I might have to recalculate that because I'm not sure how old this article is. They have lit the goat on fire. So, good news, lads. We burned the goat. Another thing that reminds me of Day of the Dead is a tradition that happens in Finland. Christmas Eve, they go to cemeteries and light candles at the graves of past family members. I feel like it was funny that they needed to specify that it was past family members, because you wouldn't have a grave if they weren't past, unless they were just missing and you assumed that they were dead, which is not quite the same thing. This next thing is only scary if you are not a fan of spiders, which, so this is a tradition in the Ukraine. They have their trees covered in spider webs, so that makes you think more along the terms of Halloween. But this is actually based on a myth about a spider that stayed up all night spinning a web to cover a tree so that a family could have a festive Christmas. So the little spider was just trying to be helpful and bring Christmas cheer. I still don't like spiders, but like, I guess if you're trying to be helpful, you can stay. Excuse me. And we've reached the final thing that I wanted to bring up. This is a classic tradition that a lot of Western cultures adhere to, and that is basically the whole myth of Santa Claus. Now, obviously, as we have grown from children to adults, if you're still a child, sorry, but Santa Claus, the concept of Santa Claus is actually quite frightening. He knows when you're sleeping, he knows when you're awake, he knows when you've been bad or good. He's like basically watching you 24/7. He dictates whether or not you've been good or bad based on, I don't know what the scale is. Like, the only thing that I really like, the closest thing that I follow is like the what they were doing on the Polar Express. Like, oh, it's Christmas Eve and this little boy was being bad, but you know what? My shift ended 5 minutes ago. I'm ready to go. Just let him be good. I just think a bunch of overworked elves that are just like, you know what? I'm gonna let it slide. But just the concept is just like, I don't like that. And then also, you know, the whole department store Santa thing, and it's basically just some random dude that you're letting your child sit on their lap, or you're sitting on their lap, and the whole scenario just reeks of uncomfort. But that's, you know, if people want to do that, that's none of my business. You know, enjoy. Merry Christmas, happy holidays. I guess if we're talking about Santa specifically, that's Merry Christmas. I'd have to do like a separate holiday. You know what? Maybe I will make a separate holiday tradition video, but not now. Now we have reached the end, and that means you should thumbs this video up. And if you didn't like it, obviously you don't have to. You should also subscribe, but if you don't like me, you don't have to. And hopefully I will see you in the next video, assuming I'm actually in the video to be seen. But you know what? Whatever. Thank you for watching, and may God be with you.